We've got a lot of tech earnings that the market is digesting today. I want to go through some of the individual tech movers as part of that broader story today. And let's start in Canada, where on the laggards list, OpenText has been the weakest performer today. Analysts have been reacting to the latest quarterly results. And there does seem to be some concern about the margin picture going forward. At this hour, we're looking at OTEX off about 7% in early trading. So that does bite into the 12-month performance for the technology company. By comparison, Shopify has been at the top of the leaderboard today. It's not an earnings day for the company. We did see some encouraging analyst commentary coming from Wells Fargo, which shared its target price, which I believe is $90 US. The US listed shares traded around 81 currently. And then some of the Shopify enthusiasm might tie just back to e-commerce broadly speaking. We have been covering Amazon this morning with their quarterly results. The company's stock is higher right now. Some of that has to do with the cloud business and the operating income for Amazon. That stock up 7% at this hour. We talked about Apple as well with its quarterly results overnight. And it did feel like the two things people were pointing to, quibbling about, or what's happening in China with the business, and also trying to determine what the demand for the iPhone is going to be like going forward. They seemed less than enthusiastic about what the company had to say. But we'll see how the year plays out. Then you have the story of Meta. This is the parent of Facebook, which had a disastrous 2022, seemed to find religion in pleasing investors. Last year was a very strong performer. Obviously, they focused on cost controls, and they're continuing with a shareholder-friendly narrative. Overnight, they announced their first ever quarterly dividend, a $50 billion stock buyback, and that was on top of the fact that they had profit that tripled in the latest quarter. Let's talk to longtime tech analyst Debra Aho Williamson for more on the Meta story. Debra, what do you make of the fact that this company is doing a lot of things that are getting investors excited? This is sometimes what you hear about when a traditional technology company becomes a little bit slower, but maybe a little bit more friendly to Wall Street. What's your sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pretty much everything that Meta reported yesterday was very friendly to investors. Top of mind being the dividend that the company paid, which is very, very rare in the technology industry for companies, even a company as old as Meta, which is turning 20 this weekend. Investors have to be really happy and pleased with everything that they heard yesterday, ranging from the end, a very successful end to the year of efficiency, to the growth in the return to strong growth in revenue. Even Facebook, the 20-year-old platform, is still growing in daily active users. So, overall, I think the message that Meta sent to the market and to investors yesterday was that this is a company that has been able to weather a horrible storm of 2022 with terrible, massive layoffs, reduced company morale, severe questions about the business in the metaverse and if it was ever going to take off. But at the end of the day, Meta is an advertising business, and it's advertising that makes up 96% of the company's revenue. And it's advertising that is what has supported the company and made 2023 a really great year for the company, for Meta.
We've talked a lot about this company in the past, and I remember, I literally covered the IPO, and I remember they had just acquired Instagram at the time, and Mark Zuckerberg was so obsessed with the mobile story and Facebook missing out on that they were like taking desktops off people's workspaces and focusing them to just, be on their phones, building the mobile app, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mark Zuckerberg has never been shy about shifting the team to a very clear and swift focus. But I guess in this case, it was really more, especially since you now have this Meta name and all those brands underneath it, almost trying to get the consensus around what we are and what we represent, to your point a little bit there.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a lot to think about here. So going back to what you said about mobile, it may seem quaint, but back in the early 2010s when Meta was trying to figure out mobile, it was really hard to show, advertising the same way on a desktop as you did on a mobile device. You actually had to create ads in two different ways. And Meta solved for that problem. It made ads in the feed look exactly the same on a desktop computer or a mobile device. And for years and years, the industry had been saying, next year is going to be the year of mobile. Next year is going to be the year of mobile. Well, Facebook was able to figure it out and in turn make its mobile revenues huge, and then overall increase the digital and mobile ad industry by the same token. So, fast forward to now, and, with the metaverse, it's been an interesting journey for the company because, yes, it did change its name to Meta. And Mark Zuckerberg, he said on the call yesterday, I am still committed to the metaverse. We are still going to continue investing in Reality Labs, even though it's, billions and billions of dollars. And this is a long-term investment for the company. And, it remains to be seen where the metaverse is going to go. The company has had to shift its tone quite a lot because everybody else is talking about artificial intelligence. So now Meta is also talking about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been a very, very interesting pivot for the company, and I think it's doing fairly well so far.
Okay, well, I want to lean into that because everybody's now talking about Apple Vision Pro, and it looks like that's not a product for everyone yet, certainly given the price point. But that is a product that people are already saying is trying to avoid some of the pitfalls of what Meta has done with their VR universe, which kind of leans a lot more into the gaming world, which is, there's a lot of people that love the products that they've got and the price points they've got right now. But I think a lot of people are trying to figure out, what is the device of the future where everything exists, and can Vision Pro be kind of like the next generation of the iPhone? So there's going to be some heat on the company to prove where it fits into this ecosystem, and that it's not like Meta versus Apple the way it was BlackBerry versus Apple. You mentioned the AI part, though, and it would seem like the language from Mark Zuckerberg about what they can do with AI, especially in areas like advertising, that would be the kind of thing that investors could more tangibly understand, not just in the next year or two, but over the next 10 years. So as an analyst, what are you putting more attention into? How they do with the metaverse stuff and, hardware, or how successful they can be with integrating AI tools?
Well, right now you have to think about AI. And so when you listen to the call, I listened to the call yesterday. Mark spent a lot of time talking about the glasses, the Meta Ray-Ban glasses that they've put out. And they have incorporated AI into those glasses. So this is not just, a virtual reality or mixed reality device, but this is a device where artificial intelligence is incorporated so that you can look at something and then ask, say, hey, hey Meta, what is this that I'm looking at? Or tell me more, or help me find. Mark posted a video of this. Help me find the right shirt to go with these pants, and using the glasses. So artificial intelligence is something that every company needs to lean into right now. It's the buzzword of the moment, but it's more than a buzzword, to be honest. It really is a fundamental change to the way that we as humans are going to be interacting with the world around us and with the machines that we use every day. When you bring back the comparison to Apple, I think one thing that's been interesting is that Apple really hasn't talked very much about their own initiatives in artificial intelligence. They made some vague statements on their earnings call yesterday, but they're really keeping everything under wraps. Now, it's possible that Apple could come out with something amazing in the fall. It's been known to surprise people with amazing, revolutionary developments. Obviously, the iPhone, the Mac, you can go way back into history with that. But Meta is here talking about AI today, and it's using AI to support its advertising business, to make ads more efficient, and to help advertisers do their jobs better. And that's, I think, what a lot of people care about right now.
Debra,